Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 1st November 2016. The 9 news items which we have picked up for today from the Hindu newspaper. The print edition is not available today, it's the e-edition. So these are the 9 items, we'll discuss each of them in detail. The first one, AP Telangana top in ease of doing business index. So we have seen about the ease of doing business index which was brought out by World Bank. In its doing business report, India ranked 130. We have already seen this. Now this is ease of doing business index of states within India. So all the states have been ranked, and this is based on the evidences given by these states themselves on a 340-point business reform action plan. So this was put forth to the states and they had to give their evidences on the reforms they have undertaken, and these evidences are reviewed by the World Bank and DIPP, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which is a department under the Ministry of Industries in the central government. So these two units, means the central government and World Bank, have come together in reviewing these evidences on this action plan, and based on that the ranking has taken place. And in this ranking, AP and Telangana have topped at number 1 and 2 positions respectively. The number 1 position in 2015 was with Gujarat, which has come to number 3. But what has been pointed out of significance in this report is that number 4, 5, these positions have gone to states which are the poorest states in the country. So, which we have discussed earlier too in an article last time, that Bimaru, they are also called Bimaru states, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. And the units which have formed, the states which have formed out of this, means out of Bihar has come Jharkhand, out of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and out of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand. So these states have done well is of significance. Also Odisha, which is a very poor state again, has also done well. So that is what is of significance. Number 4 is to Chhattisgarh. So that is being pointed out as a significant aspect in this year's ease of doing business index. So that is the news you can see here. 4 is Chhattisgarh, 5 is MP. So their compliance is very high. It says that implementation rate in Chhattisgarh is 97.32%. So on that 340 reform measures which were proposed. So this is what is seen. Right? Then the next news items which we see is about Simi men. 8 Simi men fled jail in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, and they were killed in an encounter. So SIMI stands for Students Islamic Movement of India. So this is a banned organization. This has also taken up arms and is involved in various attacks and terror attacks too. So these 8 members of this organization were under police custody, and presently they have fled. They tried to flee, killing a security guard too, and they underwent an encounter. There is a video which came out which is showing that maybe it is a fake encounter. But presently the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh has handed over the jailbreak probe to NIA, National Investigation Agency, which is the premier agency for looking into terror related cases. Then the next news item is huge bribes paid to Indian arms dealers. So this is regarding a deal about which information has been accessed by BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, and The Guardian. So this has shown that there are details that remittances, means payments, have been done to an alleged arms dealer, Sudhir Chaudhary. And there are cases against this person earlier too. His name had come up in the Tehelka scam, and then after that he has been staying in London only with his family. So again his name has cropped up. Even in 2008 documents are showing that there were huge amounts of money, 100 million euros, which were paid in 12 months by a Russian arms firm to this person. But the linkages between this arms dealer being associated with Indians is still not clear. So he still has benefit of doubt, but there are clear cases. The Rolls-Royce, which is another key player in Indian defense system too, the Hawk advanced trainer aircraft which we have acquired is from Rolls-Royce. So even here there are questions raised that deals had taken place with Sudhir Chaudhary. So these evidences have come forth now that huge bribes are paid in Indian arms deals. This is nothing new. There have been earlier cases to the Bofors scam about arms deals. So this is a fresh one coming up now. Then the next news item is state declared drought hit. This is regarding Kerala state. So Kerala state receives rainfall not just from southwest monsoon but northeast monsoons also. The southern states do receive that rainfall. But it says that southwest monsoon rainfall itself has been 34% deficit. And there are predictions that even northeast monsoon will be 69% deficit, which is much more. So they say that even if northeast monsoon is 90 to 100% too, still we will face an overall deficit. So that is why they have declared Kerala as a drought hit. All 14 states, districts of the state are under drought. So State District Management Authority has taken this decision. It is disaster management which has to decide on this. So Disaster Management Authority has decided on this. The Kerala Chief Minister has also asked the center to give special assistance funding to the state because of its drought status. Plus it is also planning to take a decision whether the loans which have been taken by farmers should be put on moratorium so that they get some leeway in payment of those loans because of the difficult situation now. So those are the aspects which are highlighted. Then the next news item is don't burden teachers with non-academic work. So Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE, has given out this viewpoint. It says tasks related to transport section or canteen section or any ministerial nature work should not be given to the teachers. There should be separate staff trained and deployed in schools for these purposes. So this is a viewpoint coming forth. Teachers have been complaining that they are burdened with non-academic work. Even presently with Aadhaar and digitization of data of students, the teachers themselves are burdened with taking care of all these aspects. So they say that their teaching activities are also affected by this. It is seen that in an urban area on an average 17 out of 224 days are wasted by teachers or spent by teachers on non-teaching activities. And another important aspect which you should know is that Section 27 of Right to Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, or what you call as RTE in short, Right to Education Act of 2009. In its section 27, it clearly states that no teacher should be deployed for any non-educational purposes, except, so there is an exception given, that is except decennial population census. Decennial means it happens once a decade, once in 10 years. Decade means 10 years. So the population census work which happens once in 10 years, teachers are involved in that. They are the people who take up all the information from the people in the region. Then disaster relief duties, that is allowed, and duties relating to elections. So during election times too, teachers are the people employed in electoral booths and on the election work. So all that aspect is excluded. Apart from that, any other non-educational purpose should not be taken over by the teachers. Teachers should not be employed for that. So this is a clear provision in the Act, Right to Education Act. Then the next news item is more differently abled attend schools than before. So this is a fresh information on census 2011 which has been coming out, which says that disabled in the age group of 5 to 19 years, there is a huge increase in number of disabled attending schools. So last census, means in 2007 census, 32.3 lakh people were attending, or around 50% of the disabled were attending schools, and this is a 11 percentage point increase. Presently in 2011 census, it comes out that 61.2% of disabled are attending schools, means in 5 to 19 age group. So this is seen. The maximum number of attendance is there in any other disability category. Second comes visual disability category, then comes hearing difficulty category. But the least number of people in educational institutions attending educational institutions is multiple disability people and mental illness people. So there is a huge population amongst the disabled which say that they have never attended any educational institution too. So this is a fresh data which has come out. So though an improvement, still there is a long way to go to ensure 100% educational enrollment of disabled. So they have a right to education too. Then the next news item is court asks Jammu and Kashmir government to protect schools. So we have seen this in news. Many schools in Jammu and Kashmir have been burnt. They have been put on fire. There is a case of around 27 schools which have been burnt down. So we saw this in last end of October too, we saw this in news. So again this has come up. This has come up presently in news because now the Jammu and Kashmir High Court has taken a suo motu cognizance. Suo motu means on its own, not based on a complaint, but based on anything which they see in newspapers, whatever is in news. The Jammu and Kashmir court itself has taken this into consideration and has asked the state government to ensure protection to all educational institutions. The Jammu and Kashmir Education Minister says that there are around 14,000 schools in Jammu and Kashmir and we cannot ensure or provide security to each one of them. That is not humanly possible, physically possible. But they say that there is support from all sections. We have seen even separatist leaders have condemned such acts of burning schools. So there are unknown people involved, miscreants involved in this activity. The career of children are at stake. So they say even the people of Jammu and Kashmir are now getting frustrated by the work of these miscreants and separatists also, who are extending this deadlock, and because of which even the tourism is suffering, the economy suffers, and the career of children are at stake too. So there is a action which needs to take place now on this matter too. So the Jammu and Kashmir High Court has asked the state by 7 November to file a compliance report on this order, protection to schools in Jammu and Kashmir. Then the next news item is PF claims in case of death set to be settled in a week. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has raised this concern that the Provident Fund, which is provided to people, family of the person who dies. So after death of an employee, this Provident Fund is provided after long gap. Presently the stipulated time frame is 20 days. In 20 days it should be provided. Now they say that it will be done within a week, means in 7 days this settlement will be done. But the problem is not that 20 days is too much, but rather the Provident Fund office or the organization returns the application forms which come from the families because of incomplete documents or other aspects. So that results into a long delay. So though 20 days is stipulated, but if there are any problem with respect to any documents, then it goes back and that red tapeism then starts off. So that is where it should be taken care of, and the officers now, since Prime Minister has raised a concern, all the offices of EPFO, Employees Provident Fund Organization, have been asked to take this on high priority, top priority, that any death related Provident Fund money claims come, they have to be taken on priority and resolved as soon as possible. So even in 1 or 2 days if it's possible, it should be done. So this is the news. And the last news item for today, inoperative Employee Provident Fund accounts to fetch 8.8% interest. So now the government has decided, means that is the decision of the Employee Provident Fund Organization again, that 8.8% interest would be paid on all inoperative accounts. Means there are many Provident Fund accounts which are inoperative. They have not been paid interest since 2011. So now government has decided to pay an interest on them. So that is the last news. So that is the news for today. From today onwards, we will start uploading a PDF, as there are demands that students need a PDF file of all the news and editorials. So every day you will see on the website, there is a PDF section. From November onwards, you can download daily PDF as well. And on a monthly basis too, we are compiling the entire month's news. So entire month's editorial, question bank and news for October can also be downloaded from the website. That is www.asr.com in current affairs section, or the direct link is also provided in the description. Thank you so much.